Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to the Aha Moments Radio Show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened living worldwide with your host, Mariana Cooper, founder of Aha Moments International and AhaMomentsWorld.com. Tune in for the next hour and learn to trust your Aha Moments to lead the way to live a passionate and purposeful life. And now here's your host, Mari.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aha Moments Radio Show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened living worldwide. I'm Mari, and happy Tuesday, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I know I'm actually surprised to see so many of you on the lines already because it is St. Patrick's Day. So I guess you're going to do your frolicking and have your fun after our show, which is a good thing. I am still trying to regain my composure because my darling producer, Sam, always says really crazy things to me, like within 2 minutes of going on the air, and then I have to remember what I was going to talk about because he has me laughing so hard I can't even see straight. So if you guys ever do a radio show of your own, make sure you have a really good producer. That's all I have to say because they're godsend. Sam's been with me for 4 years. I love you, Sam. You're crazy. You make me nuts. So, but thanks for the laughs. So today we are talking about a topic that's not really a laughing matter. It's quite serious, which is the Akashic Records. And I know that people are very, well, I shouldn't say very, but somewhat familiar with the records. We've been talking about it in this community for a few years now. But for those of you who are new, we're going to go over a little bit about the, what they are. And also, when we think about the Akashic Records, well, I'll just say what they are now. They are actually a record of your soul's lifetimes and in between lifetimes, too. So what you did in between each lifetime and what you do during and what you've done in all of your different lifetimes and all of your future times, your future lifetimes. And that's what we're going to really start to get into today because when people think about the Akashic Records and they come to me for readings for Akashic readings, which we're doing a round of those now. I haven't done them actually for, 2 years, a year and a half, something like that. I just for a while. And the grid changed. So the energetic grid advanced and the frequencies rose, and now we're getting into access into parts of the Akashic that we're not particularly focused on before. And that is our future self. So we can see our soul and our soul lifetime. We can get access to information. People have been very focused on past lives. They always want to go backwards. And it's kind of our natural way that we're brought up because even therapists, they say, okay, well, what happened in your childhood? And, and history repeats itself, and we need to know everything that happened behind us so we can know what's happening going forward. And to be honest, there's, linear time is really a construct to keep us organized and not chaotic. But really, we really don't have linear time. We really have present time. And so you're going to hear me talk about backwards and forwards today just for the sake of organization, so you can get your head wrapped around it in a mental way in the construct of what our limited mental minds can handle. But remember that every dimension, every lifetime that you've ever had is going on right now simultaneously. And there are a variety of versions of you available to you. Okay, so one of the things we talked about my opening the channel level 1, level 2, and the level 3 class that I'm teaching right now, our multidimensional manifesting lab, is about accessing the various versions of ourselves to help us in the present moment. So you can do a lot of things as far as acquisition and manifestation. But today, what I wanted to talk about is healing because there's so much within the Akashic Records that you can discover about yourself. And yes, you can use them, and we've done it quite successfully in our calls that we've done so far, in both this round and the rounds of Akashic Record readings I've done before. You can access stuck places and, what's the origin of this relationship or that relationship, and how can I move forward, and how can I, why is this still sticking me, these kinds of things. But now what has come up is the ability to go in and actually find out deeper things, like let's say you have chronic financial issues where you're always kind of running behind financially, or running out of money right before, something good happens, or this type of thing. And it feels like this constant loop, and that's something that you just can't get out of. You can go in and ask the records, what's the origin of that? You can also ask the records to now record financial freedom for you and unlock you from that pattern. And you can do that for relationships. You can do that for money. You can do that for health. You can do that for, career, parenting, any issue you can think of, you can apply and work with it in the Akashic Records. So I wanted to do this call today to bring this to your attention because, understanding your own personal, rule book or personal playbook that you've developed to date is super, super, super helpful. And I know I had not done my own personal, because I can do my own readings for myself on the Akashic, and I had not done a reading for myself in easily a year. And this time when I went in, the kinds of questions I wanted to ask was so different than, a year, 2, 3 years ago. So different because I've evolved, So, there's plenty to gather in the Akashic. So let's talk about what it actually looks like. So first of all, the Akashic Records are very, very, very rule-bound. There are a lot of rules when you're dealing with the Akashic. First of all, they have to be opened properly and they have to be closed properly. It's your private, energetic record of your soul. You don't want anybody to be involved in that, or try to access that without proper access, without being you, or a designated person that you're having to assist you in getting access to it. The other thing is that we used to not be able to get access to our records until we passed away, and we were kind of in between that when we just passed away, then we do what they call the life review. But because of our forward momentum and our evolution, we're now able to do this and do a living life review. So we don't have to die and come back to start over again the way we have in past, generations, past history. So now you can literally go in and ask a review, and we'll get into that in a minute, but it's very, very exciting. So anyway, we have an opening prayer, a very special opening prayer that we do to open the record, and we also have a special closing prayer to close the record. So it's a very, specific kind of a process. And when we open your records, we use your legal name, so your full legal name in this lifetime. Now, understand that legal name that you have in this lifetime actually translates into numbers. And everyone has a soul number, and that's really how you're governed by in the greater part of you. Okay, so you might be, I might be Mari this lifetime, but my soul number stays the same across all lifetimes. So that soul number comes up, that's what's in the Akashic. So your name translates into that number. And so at this point, what we do is we take the prayer, we use your full legal name, and we open up the record. And the clairvoyant vision that I've always received as to how it looks is that we go forward almost on a pathway. We're walking on a pathway together, and we're walking out to a big building that looks like the White House in Washington, D.C., U.S. White columns, except that it's elevated. It's not attached to the ground. And when we go in there, when we get up to the door, I say the records are now open, and the door opens, we step into a chamber which is very similar, very much like a courtroom. So to the right-hand side, you have the middle open areas, but to the right-hand side is where the jury would sit in a courtroom, and that whole area is where all your ancestors and loved ones, sit. And then on the back wall is where all the scrolls are. That's where all the records are, on the back wall. So this is all symbolic okay? We're trying to give you a very, a picture that your mental mind can handle. And so on that back wall is all the scrolls of every single being that's ever had a lifetime. And so the keepers of the records have their back turned to us. They never, ever make eye contact. They're focused on making sure that your records are always sealed until you open them properly and that they are closed properly and they're always guarded. So no one has access to those, other than you and the guides that, you call forward. And so then there's a center island, kind of marble center island, what I've always been shown, where they'll put the scroll of you on there, so it's like your book, your records, and that's where you ask your questions, and they go through and they, answer the questions. Now, it's interesting because those are your masters and teachers of the records, okay? And those are the ones who are answering the questions. It's interesting because the way you ask a question in an Akashic session is very different than the way you would ask in a regular, like, angel reading type of thing. So no one else can listen to your Akashic reading as well. It's very taboo to have anybody else other than you and the person who's, interpreting for you in that session. So it's not like we're not going to do Akashic record readings on the air. It's just not going to happen because, you need specific names, and it's a very, very private, focused thing. But when you do open those records in the way that you ask your questions, you're not asking, well, what can you just tell me what's happening for me in relationships? Which I hate those questions. What you are asking is very specific kinds of questions to gather research, gather information. So you might say, what is the origin of the recurring pattern that I have with men who abandon me? What is the what is the process of healing from that? What do I need to know most right now about my finances that would free me from the recurring pattern of XYZ? Okay? You can also ask for what part of me needs strengthening the most. So, like, am I, if you feel your self-esteem needs work, self-love, you can ask, how can I get a higher level of self-love? Okay? And then, things like, life purpose and life directions and all that kind of stuff is very good. You can also ask about things like judgment. How can I release the need to be judgmental? Or where does my pattern of casting judgments, especially on myself, start from? Okay, so that's kind of ways that you can work in the past. You can also ask, what's the origin of my relationship with my daughter XYZ, or my relationship with my son or my husband, or what's the origin with my mom? And it's amazing. I was doing readings yesterday, in fact, and all last week, and I think the week before. They all run into each other at this point. And it was fascinating because people were really going by the rules, because you literally, if you don't have the questions, we can't do the reading. So, but because the records only go by the question and answer, they not go off and expound on everything that's going to happen to you for the next 5 lifetimes. But some of the amazing things that people were asking about recurring patterns and how quickly, like I had one gal, she had 10 questions. And when they finished with the first answer, she says, oh my gosh, I don't have any more questions because that answered all of the other 9 questions. So she came up with other ones, and we worked through that. But it was very cool to see how they really they're like stealth bombers. They just go right straight to the core, And a lot of times, what you're praying for is not necessarily what you're really praying for. So if you're praying for, like, let's say, money, the perfect husband, material type of thing, a lot of times what you're really praying for is safety, a sense of safety. And if you look at that sense of safety, let's say you're rather controlling, or you find that you're over-organized, or you find that you're, people tell you, gosh, you need to let go and breathe and all that. And you realize that, wait a second, when you get into the records and you start saying, well, why am I, without this person, or why am I yearning for so-and-so, for a person so badly, they'll say your core thing is safety. And then you start to see how that core thing for safety maps through every piece of your world, like the way that you're reacting in one scenario and then to the next. It could be in your work and in your body and in your relationships with your family and in your relationship with your money and your relationship with your sex and relationship with, your, spouse or loved one, significant other or lack thereof. You can see that theme of safety, trying to be safe, is running through all the different areas of your life. That's the goal in the Akashic. That's the goal, because when you sort out that's when everything, all of the old constructs start to collapse. And when they start to collapse, you get space. And when you have the space, you can create. Okay? And when you're looking for space, you can create. And that is super important, because creation does not come during clutter. I always say God will never deliver $1 million into chaos. You really have to, when you want, big money or even basic money, you need to be organized so that these are my debts and without judgment, and these are my, bills without judgment, and this is what I desire for disposable income, and this is what I need. You really need to be organized. God won't deliver $1 million into chaos. Why? Because it sets you up to be in trouble. That $1 million runs out, you don't know how to repeat steps to create it, or you're not organized, and then you start buying stuff, and then you get yourself into worse debt, and lose everything, and then you're worse off than you were before. So it's very important to be organized. The Akashic Records can really help that process along, because you start to get down to the origin. It's like going down to the root and pulling up from the root. Very, very powerful, very powerful. So one of the other exciting things that I personally discovered and was delving deeper into the records, I've been working and teaching a lot. My classes have been really fun as of late. Lots of buzzing about multidimensionality and our ability, understanding that, if you have all these past lifetimes, wouldn't it make sense that you have a bunch in the future too? And wouldn't it make sense, since there is no time, that you have simultaneous lifetimes going on, at all times? And it's true, you do. People think, so when I talk about that big ball of energy that we are, and then we go into this symbol of a body for a lifetime, well, guess what? Within that big ball of energy that you are, the big, your parent company, if you will, your bigger version of you, and you have that piece of you right now that might be, Anne Marie or, Maria or Susie or whatever your name is in this lifetime. That's just one symbol. But guess what? You have thousands of other symbols of you having that lifetime to progress your overall goal forward simultaneously. So you can access the version of you that already has money. You can access her or him. You can access the frequency of that person, and you can bring that frequency into your waking state now and operate from that new frequency and have money. Same thing with relationships. Okay, there's a version of you that's in the relationship that you ultimately desire, and and it's healthy and exciting and all those good things, and you can connect with the version of you that's already there, and then merge with that version of you, and then bring that back into your waking state. So when you're familiar though with your Akashic, now that's multidimensional training. That's different, a little bit of a different topic, but I wanted to bring it up because it's exciting. I use it all the time. My clients are using it like crazy. My advanced gals are just going nuts with it and doing super well. And it's a relief, because now you know how much intelligence you can garner, how many solutions you can get, just infinite number of possibilities and solutions when you recognize that there's infinite versions of you. and that there is a version of you that already has solved the problem. Let's say you have this really hard issue, and you haven't been able to figure out no matter what. And asking other people just isn't helping. And asking other people is, just not working for you. You're just not getting a solution. You can literally close your eyes and go to the version of you that's already solved the problem. You could go into the version of you that's 8 hours ahead, meaning that's like, tomorrow when the problem is already solved. You can go to that version of you and say, what did I do to solve this? And bring that information back. So with the Akashic Records, what's really interesting is that when we open the records, and I was doing this myself the other day, I decided I'm tired of talking about the past. Everybody gets all caught up in it. And I've done enough of that work. So I said, I want to really go into working with future beings, future selves. And I went 1,000 years forward to 3015. And it was amazing what kind of insight and healing I was presented with. I got in this vision that came through, I got a vitamin washer. They just literally wash my energy with the vitamins my body was missing, and the hormonal balancing, and just all kinds of amazing tools that would that could still apply here, but really aren't particularly accessible energetically unless you know how to do all this kind of stuff. Well, in the Akashic, I said, I asked if there's anything more we can do in the Akashic, and what they said is you can actually do healing now in the Akashic. Now that we have the part of the grid, now that everything is more advanced, you can actually ask for not just information about an origin of something, or let's say about the origin of your, financial, woes, or your recurring, relationship issues. You can also say, can you please at this time heal this area now, so that in all directions of time it is healed and I can move on. And it will be recorded in your records as healed. And then you move on. The lightness, I can't explain it. You have to go through it, actual private reading, but it's so hard to explain. But the lightness that comes, and it's very, it's kind of an ease. It's just this ease. It's not I Dream of Genie, bling, okay, here's the lottery, But there's a very light and bright sense of ease. Just like, wow, And when you unlock some of these things, it's kind of like if you've ever gotten, I always use this example, steaks caught in the back, your back tooth, and you need a toothpick, and you finally get it out, and it leaves, finally, the toothpick gets it out. That's literally what this feels like. It just is like that relief of that annoying thing. And the clarity is just, I've always loved the Akashic Records for that, because they have always been major clarifiers, as long as the person is, ready and willing to let go of whatever it is they're asking for. So super important to get connected to. You can read up on, the Akashic Records, certainly online. I have a special report on my website, a free special report all about the record. It doesn't go into the healing part of this, because that's something that's just literally come up in the last 5-6 days through my own channeling. But as soon as I got that and I saw myself, I took several of my own issues into the records, and when I got that information, I channeled it back, and I saw, whoa, the number of solutions started coming to me. And then in my real, waking world, without being in meditation, like my normal daily world, things just started to boom, 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 fall into place, solutions coming up. Things coming up kind of in your face to be healed, but solutions coming with them. Fascinating. So I just thought I had to bring this up, not only that we were going to shift the round of readings that I'm doing to healing with the Akashic Record readings, but also that I wanted to talk about this on the show, so that even if you just want to do your own research and sort it out on your own, that you're recognizing that you can go in and actually have shifts and changes, not just read, not just look at things that have been recorded, So it's a really dynamic set of records, and it's going to get even more so available to us. I know Lee Carroll is a good friend of mine at, channels Cryon. He talks a lot about he calls it the Akash, and Cryon has been talking a lot about accessing the records over the last 2-3 years. After 2012, there's just access to so much more stuff, and we have the grid to be able to perceive it, which is nice, So it's a really powerful, thing to take hold of, and I suggest that in your own, spiritual toolkit, you have your own spiritual library of your books and your iPods with your different, spiritual information, guided meditations, and all that kind of stuff. Having a fairly regular access to your Akashic Records can really help to accelerate. Is it the be-all, end-all, only thing you'll ever need to fix everything in your life? No, of course not. You have to always maintain yourself. That's what we call it energetic hygiene. You have to, on an ongoing basis. But is it something that, you have an annual or quarterly session or start to, do your own journaling and start to ask for access to your own records and sort of journal that out? Absolutely. You definitely want to confront that, to consult that, because it does accelerate things. And when things are accelerated, you can move on. You can move on and get to the good stuff. And that's really where we're leading to now. We're really getting into a time now where learning our lessons through joy is going to be much more prevalent, because people have no idea how to deal with joy. We've gotten really, really good about dealing with pain and defining ourselves from our sadness and our pain and competing with each other to say who has it worse. Well, you think you have it bad. Oh, I have it even worse. And, all that kind of stuff. But we're really moving towards what will make your heart sing. What can you do to, can you choose to eliminate the need for many of these patterns and to actually, start to think about the idea of ease and joy and possibility and openness and spaciousness, loneliness as emptiness, as depression, as boredom, and it's not at all. What it is, spaciousness is the point of creation. And the more space you can create by not having all these hang-ups and all these issues, the ease you can have to allow these things to just come through. Because everything that you desire exists. It's kind of like the sun and the clouds, all the frenetic, patterns and my habits and my past lives. And I have people get on the phone with me, and I'm telling you, I'll start a reading, and they can go for a good 15 minutes telling me all the stories and all the reasons why. And I say one thing, and then they go into why that's not true and why it shouldn't be true and why this could be and that could be, and they've done this and they've done that and they've done this, and they don't even hear what I say at all. So they're so caught up in their story and justifying the story and justifying all the things that have happened because of the story and from the story and all the other people that are, et cetera, involved. And so it's something that can be, certainly frustrating for me as a practitioner, but more frustrating for you because you're spinning. And people like to be safe in their spin a lot of times. They don't really want to have that leap forward. But when you have the courage to leap forward or even to just move forward, you'll be amazed at how there's plenty of challenge in learning how to live through joy. So why not let a little bit of it in so you can get to practice, right? All right, we're going to take a quick break. If you'd like to call in to ask a question, which I see the lines are really filled up today. I guess it's the spring weather. The number to call in is 347-215-9485. That's 347-215-9485. When we come back from the break, we'll get started with the readings. So, I'm Maria, listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and we'll be right back.
Step back in time to the very beginning, before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
Are you living the life you are really meant to live? Soul Lifetimes Magazine is your online source for creating the life you truly desire. When you register for your free subscription at www.soullifetimes.com, you get access to a world of resources that will help you to get the answers you seek and inspire you to take charge of your world. Tap into your body, mind, and spirit with articles from some of the most well-known conscious thought leaders and teachers on metaphysics, soul talk, soulmate relationships, quantum healing, astrology, food for the soul, style, and more. When you join us to create a joyful lifestyle for a new way of being, you truly contribute to raising the consciousness of the world. Subscribe for free at www.soullifetimes.com and never miss an issue of this innovative and insightful digital magazine. Soul Lifetimes Magazine is about living happier, healthier lives full of purpose, joy, and abundance. Subscribe now for free at www.soullifetimes.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Hello, we are back. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show. And today we are talking about the gold you can uncover in your Akashic Records. And I'm very excited about doing those sessions. Just so you know, if you'd like to get an actual Akashic reading with me, you can make sure you subscribe to our email, to our e-zine, because our email list, because announcements have been going out, and the new healing for the healing with the Akashic Record readings, I just sent the announcement out, I believe it was yesterday. So if you're on our list, you already have it. If not, or if you have some issues finding it, we did not put it on the website yet. I have Shannon, she's busy, so I'm trying to, we'll get it up there. But if you want the link and for me to forward you that email, if you didn't already get it, you can send us an email at support@ahamomentsinc.com. So aha moments with an S, inc.com. Support at ahamomentsinc.com. Okay, so I added in a bunch of spots just because this whole healing thing came up, and I've been getting a lot of people wanting these readings. I'm not surprised, but it's always fun to see that everybody kind of, jumps on board when we announce something like that. All right, so let's see here. We have a lot of you have called in. Let me give you the ground rules for our reading. First of all, I need a specific question. Please do not say, what do you see for me in the future about a relationship? That's not, we're on a radio show, so we have like 6, and we don't have, there's not time really for the big, long, kind of just off in the ether's general question. So the ones that work better are the ones where you can be more specific. And I know Sam has probably said that to you as he was, screening the calls. But if he didn't, then I just wanted to make that clear. And if you can come up with something specific and that has to do with that would benefit the rest of the group from here, that's even better. Okay, so we're going to get started. And the first person is Nathaniel from California. Hi, Nathaniel.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What's your question?
I'm looking for a job in maybe Hollywood or something, and I wanted to see if you see me moving there.
I think if you get more specific about where you want to be and you start to focus on creating that, I think you absolutely can move there. Are you in a creative industry?
Yeah, I applied for a job as a music host.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like it's going to be some good support for you there. I would say Venice is probably better than Hollywood for you. Just feels like your energy is in alignment with that. And that's, definitely a cult of, a whole slew of musicians are in that area. But Venice feels, very, very aligned with you. That's the most important thing. And what I would suggest you do, though, is don't throw caution up to the wind. I would get very specific about what you're looking for as far as work and what you're looking for as far as lifestyle and how you want to live. And don't be afraid to sort of put it out there and kind of command it so, as opposed to, I wonder if this could work. Because that kind of energy will never get it to solidify for you. It'll make it harder, and you'll be more subject to, weird things happening. So get very focused, and I think you're on your way. It feels good to me. It does definitely feel good to me. It feels like you're in alignment with that area. So I hope that's helped.
Okay, thanks.
You're so welcome. Good luck. Okay, moving on to, let's see, what do we have here? Okay, Hannah in California. Hi, Hannah, another Californian.
Hi, I was listening about the topic, Akashic healing.
Yes.
And there is, I can say that I just want to know if I'm healing from a relationship which I'm 100% I think sure that was karmic and probably some kind of past life issue with this individual. But I'm just wondering where I'm at in the healing process and where I can further, heal any other.
Well, I just want to say this. These are not Akashic Records readings that we're doing right now because that requires a whole process. So I don't do those on the air. Yeah. So that would require, actually having an Akashic session. However, it does feel like you've done a lot of good analysis on that situation. And then what you need to do right now to unlock it is to focus now on where you want to go instead of where you've been. It feels like, it's kind of been, it's almost been like for lack of a better word, a pacifier. It's something that your head can rest on because it's kind of this like recurring thought. But now what your guides are saying to me, what your angels are saying to me is that you have a little fear about the space of going forward. Like just assume that's handled. Now move forward. What's that thing that you need to move forward on? What's the number one, this is the question you need to ask yourself. You don't have to answer that to me now. But what's that question? What's that thing that if you shifted it would change everything? That's the question you need to ask for yourself because it feels like it's time for you to go broader in your life and get kind of out of the spin of, these other people.
Yeah, that's my realization, actually. That's really what I feel now. Like, I just know that I do need to move forward, and it's interesting and it's peaceful knowing that that's what it is. I just need to move forward, from there.
Yeah, you're in a good place. Good work for you, too, Hannah. Good for you. A lot of people can't do that, so good for you. And I wish you all the best. I'm going to have to jump to the next caller, but thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Next we have, actually Hannah had a good point. That was a good point, is sometimes it's time to just be ready to move forward. That's it. It's just time to go. Time to move forward. And she was at that point and ready to go. So she just needs a little validation and off she goes. All right. So next we have Catherine in San Francisco. Hi, Catherine.
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I just moved here recently, and I'm not too clear on getting the job that's a good match for me because I've done a lot of jobs that I just like part of it, so I really want to find a job that's more in alignment with really what I want to do.
Okay. So what's your question?
Well, I'm procrastinating. So how do I get through it's like a fear or procrastination of something of moving forward into finding it.
Okay. So it feels like one of the reasons why is because you have a conflict with what you think can make money and what you know makes your heart sing. And so you spin back and forth, and the part that can make you money doesn't make your heart sing, and the part that makes your heart sing you don't think could make you money. But, so that's the question you need to start asking your angels and guides. The archangel that you can speak with is, you can use journaling or, go out to the water. San Francisco has plenty of it, and just walk and ask the question. It's, Archangel Chamuel, Chamuel. I talk about him pretty much every week because somebody has a career question. He can help you to really find the work that makes your heart sing. And that's what you want to do is say, what contribution, because work is a contribution, can I be that truly will make my heart sing and bring me more money than I know what to do with. And when you ask that question, you get a different kind of a
Hey, everybody, I lost Mari. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get her back.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was blown off the call. I'm not sure what happened with that. So we are going to go back to Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hello?
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Yep, I'm sorry. The phone just cut off out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Plenty of battery. That is so weird. So the energy must be coming in really, really strong today. So, if you ask that question, then what you're going to do is start to get an answer that's more integrated for you. And that's what you're really looking for, is kind of work that's more integrated. So that one is for whatever reason, it works like a charm with my clients and myself. It really does. So give that a shot, and then, call back in a couple of weeks and let us know how it goes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Okay. So, sorry, you guys. I don't know what happened. Technology is really weird. I wasn't even holding the phone. Okay. So, let's see. We have Wendy in South Carolina. Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
Hello.
My question is short. Should I give up on my marriage?
Should you give up on your marriage? Wow. You're someone that would benefit from knowing what the origin of that marriage is. That's for sure. Because you've been together with him many lifetimes. So, but it feels more like it's a friendship than the kind of, rock and sock and romance that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because a lot of times they'll get a hard and fast, yes, get rid of them, kind of thing, or no, don't do it. I really get kind of what they're saying is you're free to move on. However, you haven't quite identified the lesson in it. And if you don't identify that, it's that energy, the frequencies are going to shift enough for you to find someone that's very different from him. So what they're saying is don't focus too much on him right now. Start asking a different question. Instead of should I dump my husband, ask what in me do I need to know from this? What's the blessing? What's the gift? However you want to, flower it up and ask, or what is it that I should be getting from, what is it that I need to know most right now? What are the layers here so that for my own personal growth, so that I can move forward successfully?
That makes perfect sense because I have memories of several lifetimes with him, and it never ends good. And I don't know if I should give up and that breaks the cycle, or if there's something I need to do to fix it and that breaks the cycle. I have no clue.
Okay, seriously? I don't know what is going on. I have no idea. Sam, can you reconnect me to that person that we were talking to? I think it's Wendy in South Carolina. Okay, hi, Wendy. I'm sorry.
Hi.
My phone,
That's okay.
The line just completely disconnected again. That was so weird. The phone is sitting like across the table. Okay. Did you get what I was saying about?
Yes. I said that makes perfect sense because I have memories of several past lifetimes with him, and it never ends up good, and I don't know if I'm supposed to give up to break that cycle or if there's something I'm supposed to do to fix it. That's why I'm clueless here.
I think the Akashic, honestly, I think the Akashic session would be a very good session for you, or doing some research and working in them on your own, because that's where a lot of that, that deeper stuff that you can find it much more easily than with your analytical mind. Or you can go, like I said, to a body of water or whatever and just be very quiet and ask for those kinds of answers, but asking a little differently, like what in me needs to shift. Remember, water speaks its own level, which is why you're being guided to heal you. And you can even say, what will heal me that would enable me to jump into a much higher frequency relationship? Because your frequency and his frequency for you to be together has to be very similar. So you probably escalated because you're feeling that sense of wanting to, move on, but and you have to kind of pull yourself down to stay because you're kind of, expanding now, and you have to. And I think one of the reasons why it feels so tight is because you have to ratchet yourself down to kind of be in to stay in the relationship. But definitely,
exactly.
Ask the question, what will help me to elevate my frequency so I can land in the type of relationship I truly want, and I would focus on that. And then the situation with your husband will easily sort itself out. It doesn't feel like it has to be this big, horrible, hard kind of severing. So in answer to your question, should you, leave your husband, I think you should ask some deeper questions before you make that decision. And I hope that helps. I have to move on to the next person.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Okay. Let's see. We have Ellen in New York. Hi, Ellen. Did we lose her? Oh, okay. Let's see. Now we have Eric in Virginia. Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Eric. There you are.
Yes. He just put me on the air there.
Yep.
I am curious, when you see me getting in a relationship again, one that is actually, I'm actually with somebody, because I'm in a sort of friendship over Skype with somebody, but she's far away, and I don't think it's going to become anything. But when do you see a real relationship coming?
Well, it sounds like I was hearing April and May. Somewhere in between April and May, you'll meet somebody. I don't think you know the person yet. And it does feel like it would be when you're doing something that makes your heart sing. So really focusing on play as opposed to, you're very cerebral with this process, kind of looking for, almost like interviewing the people, like a job interview. And so I would highly recommend that you stay focused on play, letting yourself go out and really be into your interests, into your hobbies, and like guys generally don't really think too much about all this. They kind of just move along the way. The women are the ones who freak out constantly. Oh my God, wait, you can, and so your analysis and your kind of your heart is very guarded. From what I'm hearing, your heart is very guarded. It feels like you're you've been hurt. And it's funny because men get hurt, women get hurt over and over and over and over and over again, and they're slogging through. Men get hurt one time, and it's like, okay, the next one, I'm going to have like a whole dissertation, like a whole printout of what's going to happen in this one before I'm going to jump back in. So, so your energy already feels softer, and I think that's the thing that might be holding you up a little bit is that your business-like approach to the dating pool is, while it might seem a little safer for you, isn't really going to get you the kind of person that you really want that's going to, make you flutter inside. And that's I know that's what you're looking for, but that also requires being willing to be a little vulnerable and a little forgiving that she's not perfect. And remember, again, if you really want to find that person that, makes your heart sing, then you want to make sure that you are also, if you look at your list of what you want in a person, then you look down, you make sure you're all those things yourself. And that's going to make sure the frequency is in alignment because, like I said, water seeks its own level, especially in relationships. So that frequency has to be, in alignment. If you're, with someone who's boring you, it's probably because you're not giving enough of your own heart energy to it. So it requires kind of that vulnerable space on both sides. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I see exactly what you're saying in terms of being in the right space, I guess, would be a word for it, and that what you mirror comes back to you. Yeah, absolutely. Energy-wise,
Yeah, and if you want somebody who's kind of like, it feels to me like you like that kind of bright, effervescent kind of a girl who's kind of, easygoing, easy on the eyes, of course, but who's easygoing and is not too hung up and not too, competitive and kind of just easy. Like you're looking for ease. But you're hung up and tight and you're waiting for her to show you first, and then you'll say, okay, once she shows me that she's all the things I want, then I'll let my guard down. But she's going at it the same way as you are. She's looking and saying, well, he's so tight. My God, this feels like a lot of rules. I got to run, and you're going to end up not even being able to see her because she's not going to be allowed to show her light. So you have to be willing to show a little bit of your light, because it feels to me like you have a really great sense of humor, and you have, a little dry but funny, and you're a super smart guy and successful and all that good stuff. But there's a playful side to you, too, kind of like this little practical joker kind of side to you that, people need to see a little bit of that, especially in the dating pool. And I think then you're going to find that step above the basic, we both go for coffee first, then we go for lunch, then we go for dinner, but we won't spend too much because what if we don't invest money and it doesn't make sense? All that. You don't want to go through all that. Does that make sense?
No. No, I just want it to click, and then we don't have to think about it.
And it will click when you let it click. You know what I mean? You're right there. So, and that's what they're saying. April, May is very close. April's not too far away, just a few weeks away. As long as you can shift, and it already feels like your energy has shifted just a bit already, just with this conversation, like you had a little bit of an aha moment.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And, I do have a question. Do you think any of their name would start with an S? And I just lay that out because I have met two people over the last, let's say, month with an S starts with an, or like a sort of S sound in their.
You know what? I don't make things up. I'm not getting an initial per se, but what I'm looking at is the energy, and I think it wouldn't hurt you to practice raising, testing out. Because really what you're looking at is not the issue of the initial or is this the person or that the person. It's really about, the lesson here for you is raising your vibrations so that you can attract multiple versions of the person. And then you pick, what feels the best out of several that feel good instead of what feels the best out of a bunch of duds. get your energy. This is about you working on your frequency for a couple of weeks, and then you'll see she'll emerge. And whether it's one of these S girls, remember you attracted these S girls in the vibration before you got on the call with me. So let's see what you attract now that you shifted, because it feels like your frequency went up.
Interesting.
Okay, well, I hope that works. I hope that helps. Rather, I know it will work.
Thank you.
Do it.
Just do it.
Right. Just do what I say. And
Thank you.
Be fine. Okay.
All right.
Have
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. All right. Take care. All right. Oh, my goodness. What a night. That's so fun. I love guys. Thank you for the guys who call in. That's so nice. Not that I don't love all you gals, but it's nice for us to have a little testosterone along besides Sam behind the scenes. All right. Well, I think we are hitting the end of yet another Aha Moments radio show. If you'd like to get more into your Akashic Records as a private session, please email me at support@ahamomentsinc.com, and we will make sure that you get the latest info. If you'd like to get the free special report on the Akashic Records, you can certainly do that at ahamomentsworld.com. It's right there. It should be, I think, on the homepage, or if you look under free reports on the navigation bar, it'll be there. So you can learn more about that. And regardless of how you get a hold of it and get into your records, it's really, really a wonderful resource for you that I highly suggest that all of you, add into your energetic manual basis. So with that all being said, I will see you this time next week, same place, same time, and we'll end with my motto, which is you truly can have exactly what you want. You absolutely deserve it too. And in this new energy, anything is possible. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. And happy St. Patty's Day.
You've been listening to the Aha Moments radio show with your host, Mari. Be sure to visit her blog and website at www.ahamomentsinc.com. That's AHA, moments with an S, inc.com. Also join Mari on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ahamomentsinc and Twitter at twitter.com/ahamoments. We can't wait to see you there.